First, I want to welcome everyone here and thank you for your presence. We are all dear brothers and sisters to each other, and not only to each other, far beyond this, to all of humanity, and one can say all living things. So again, the subject of today's readings have been, and this sermon will be, illuminating our path towards a greater understanding and forgiveness. Hazrat Inayat Khan teaches us that all tragedy of life, all misery and inharmony are caused by one thing, and that is lack of understanding. Lack of understanding comes from lack of penetration. The one who does not see from the point of view from which he ought to see becomes disappointed because she cannot understand. It is not for the outer world to help us to understand life better. It is we ourselves who should help ourselves to understand life better. Again, the key phrase here is, all misery in life comes from lack of understanding. And lack of understanding comes from lack of penetration. It is our responsibility to train ourselves to understand life better. And how? How do we do this? Here, Hazrat Inayat Khan gives us the answer through penetration, through concentration, contemplation, meditation. In the Hindu scriptures, you might wish to know, it's from the Chandogya Upanishad on the subject of meditation as Brahma. It said today, here we heard it read, he who meditates on understanding as Brahman attains the worlds of understanding and knowledge. And again, we could ask, what does it mean to meditate on understanding as Brahma? We might answer, it means that we penetrate beyond the surface of our ordinary mind. We've all heard it said, perhaps, but it bears worth repeating here. The great Sufi mystic and scholar Ibn Arabi taught us, seek to know that which transpires behind that which appears. Meditating on understanding as Brahma, with the concentrated mind of Brahma, penetrating the hidden meaning beyond the surfaces of appearances. We did not hear it read here, but it could be said, things are not as they appear, nor are they otherwise. This is one of the great Buddhist teachings. Things are not as they appear, nor are they otherwise. In the great sutra, the Prajnaparamita. Think of that. Hazrat Inayat Khan tells us God is everywhere. The inner life does not consist of closing the eyes and looking inward. The inner life is to look outward and inwardly, and to find one's beloved everywhere. It goes on to say, and I'm reading from a passage from the Inner Life, if you'd like to know that. But God cannot be made a beloved unless the love element is awakened sufficiently. The one who hates his enemy and loves his friend cannot call God his beloved, for he does not know God. When love comes to its fullness, then one looks at the friend with affection, on the enemy with forgiveness, on the stranger with sympathy. There is love in all its aspects expressed when love rises to its fullness. And it is the fullness of love which is worth offering to God. It is then that man recognizes in God his beloved, his ideal. And by that, although he rises above the narrow affection of the world, he is the one who really knows how to love. Who really knows how to love. True equanimity. Like the sun. The sun doesn't distinguish. I like this flower, I don't like that flower. I like this place, I don't like that place. I like this person, I don't like that person. The sun shines on all equally. This is clicking here, I'm so sorry. Can I move this a little bit? Charles, I think it's flipped around. Sometimes it's good to take a little break and think about what we've said. It's okay now. Yeah, it's good. Finish. Chivalry. I love that aspect of chivalry, one of the great teachings of Murshid also, huh? I'm continuing with Murshid and I Khan's words that say, it is the lover of God who knows love when he rises to the stage of fullness of love, tolerance, and all moral principles. All deeds of kindness and beneficence take root in the soil of a loving heart. Generosity, charity, adaptability, an accommodating nature, even renunciation, are the offspring of love alone. The great and rare chosen beings who for ages have been looked upon as the ideal in the world are the possessors of hearts kindled with love. All evil, sin come from the lack of love. And you know that sin means, from the ancient Greek, to miss the mark. To miss the mark. In the Dhammapada, we heard it read, with single-mindedness, a master quells his thoughts. He ends his wondering. Quelling one's thoughts could be understood by a concentrated, single-minded effort, so that the energy of any one experience, beyond good, bad, like, dislike, just pure energy, that moment is used to penetrate the obscurations that can lead to our greater understanding. So think of happy, sad, joy, anger, frustration, just as pure energy. concentrate it, put it towards a situation that will allow that situation to be penetrated and the obscurations blown like the dust on a mirror, blown away. Or in the great deserts, perhaps some of you have had the opportunity to be in the Sahara, where the great winds of change come and all footprints are removed. The Dhammapada reading goes on to say, how can a troubled mind understand the way? If a man is disturbed, he will never be filled with knowledge. An untroubled mind no longer is seeking to consider what is right and what is wrong. A mind beyond judgment watches and understands. You know, they say silence is golden. It's a really interesting thing to consider. Watches and understands.